So in this theme, we're talking about Pyrrhic victories. Pyrrhic victories are basically arguments or fights that we engage in, and when we engage in them, if we win, we end up losing more than we possibly gain. The key to this is to be intentional. That word intentionality comes up again. We have to think about what are the possible outcomes or consequences before we decide to engage in any type of confrontation. So in your book, there's a question that asks or points out some different reasons why we might choose to engage in an argument that might be have ulterior motives, maybe even motives that we're not even aware of. For example, I'm going to look at the book. When we fight just to fight, like it's just fun to engage in like a heated discourse, or we're fighting to dominate so that we can show that we have control over someone. We're fighting to save face because maybe we're embarrassed and we are wrong, so we engage in this fight because we know we can win the fight, even though it might be better for us to kind of decline or choose not to fight. We fight to retaliate, or we fight to boost our self-esteem. If we find ourselves fighting for any of these reasons, we know that our intention is not pure.
Hey, I just wanted to add something here. When I say the word pure, I mean we're all operating, or I hope we're operating with the premise that we want to help our students and help those we lead grow. If our reason for engaging in a conversation is not for the growth of those we lead, then it's not a pure reason.
Here's a colleague that you might know who's agreed to talk about her understanding of Pyrrhic victory and battles she chooses to engage or not engage in. Hi, Ms. Brewer.
Hi.
Hi. So I came here to talk to you about Pyrrhic victories. I was wondering if you could talk to us about the battles you choose to engage in or choose not to engage in. For example, what do you do when a student comes to class tardy?
I try not to just engage in like prideful battles, so to speak. If it's a situation where a student comes in tardy and I'm in the middle of teaching a lesson, it's to me not worth dealing with that battle, and I end up losing my class or losing valuable class time. So I typically will address that with the student later on, because in that moment it's just not worth what I'm losing to prove a point with that student.
So what about if you're not teaching a class? Like class really hasn't started, but the kid is like 5 minutes late and you're not really engaged in anything. Would you engage with the kid in that instance?
In that situation, depending on the student and how often they're tardy, I may try to get somewhat of an understanding maybe as to what's going on. But if I feel like we're not getting anywhere, I would save that battle for another time.
Okay.
So it depends on how receptive that student is to the conversation.
Are there any battles that you would absolutely engage in if it was presented?
Yes, if I feel like there's any situation where harm is done to another student, whether that's words or physical, I definitely would intervene. But if there's things that I feel like can be addressed at a better time, I would save it for that time, so I'm not losing the attention and the learning opportunities for the rest of the class.
Thank you.
Thank you.